This is a short slideshow of an upcoming longer video presentation about Hattusha, located in Turkey. And here we see lots of examples of possible lost ancient high technology. Look at those even depressions in this large limestone block. And when you look at a close-up, you see that the depression is very even and has a slight arc to it. And then on the other side, the same thing. And look at the rubble construction just to the left of it. So we're looking at two ages of construction at Hattusha. And also here, at the outer gate, the same depressions that are quite even. And also drill holes. We didn't see two, we saw between 50 and 100 drill holes, and we didn't even cover the entire site on that visit. There's also a long tunnel that was built during the time of the Hittites, large stones, but rough construction. And at the very end, again, a precision drill hole where the hinge would have been. And on the other side as well. So the doors, we don't know what the doors were made of. The doors were made to move in towards the tunnel. Also this giant limestone tub with holes at either end, obviously for drainage. As well, there were a number of these large megalithic blocks with drill holes in them, probably made to connect one to the other. And again, look at the precision of that drill hole. It's in limestone, which isn't really that hard, but it's metamorphosed limestone, so it's harder than normal limestone. And also circular saw marks in granite. The granite actually comes from hundreds of miles away, and the diameter was between 6 and 8 feet. This is another view of that circular saw mark. And again, the idea that these are modern is very highly unlikely. We also saw evidence of flat saw marks as well in the same location in the granite. And also lots and lots of megalithic ancient walls with no mortar in between the stones. These weigh several tons apiece, could be from a local quarry, but they're quite massive. And as you can see, they fit together very tightly with no mortar whatsoever. So upcoming will be a longer video version of our discoveries at Hattusha in Turkey. There was also this large block of nephrite, and no one was able to tell us its origin source. Also, large slabs in the floor, such as this one. Hi, this is Brian Forrester, and today we're exploring Hattusha in Turkey. The most famous aspect of this ancient Hittite site are these two lion figures, but we're going to see evidence of two different levels of construction. One rough, as you can see on the right there, and this, which is megalithic. Tight-fitting stones, or at least they once were. This wall section was obviously victim to a massive earthquake that pulled it apart. But you can see other parts are tight-fitting, relatively. Originally, there would have been no mortar whatsoever. Here you can see that it's tight-fitting in this area. And there you see where it's been pulled apart by an ancient and massive cataclysm, likely an earthquake. Now on the right side we see tight fitting work, and there in the background very rough. So clearly two different stages of construction by two different cultures. And here again we go from rough on the right to megalithic tight fitting larger stones on the left. Also evidence of ancient drill holes. Not just these four, but we saw between 50 and 100 ancient core drills. And by looking in detail, we see lots of weathering inside, so these are in no way modern. After that, it was up a relatively crude staircase made during the Hittite period, and into a massive tunnel. Now this tunnel is composed of large megalithic blocks, but they're not particularly tight-fitting, and so it's very likely that this again is from the Hittite period and not from the older, more high-tech megalithic period. You can see that the tunnel is quite long, and what's going to be curious is what we see at the end. Because here, once again, a drill hole for a hinge. And on the other side, we can also see that the doors would open inward inside the tunnel. And when we go outside, once again, a crude retaining wall constructed during the Hittite period. And this is quite like what we see in Peru, Bolivia, and Egypt. We see the work of the cultures we know of, such as the dynastic Egyptians and the Inca, but then we also see much more high-tech work, such as here, these large arches, a set of two arches. You can see the crease in the middle, which is heavily weathered and could have been done by an ancient machine, and here on the other side as well. And look at the rougher work on the left-hand side. Then the next set of arches, once again we see a crease in the stone, which looks like it could have been done by some kind of machine. And here too, more of the core drill holes. Once again, see that crease in the arch, and then the much cruder work on the left-hand side. And now we're walking towards a large wall, and again we're going to see two different styles of construction. You see the monoliths, which look like they have cataclysmic damage of some kind on top, and then the later, cruder filling in work done by the Hittites. And here, further along, these massive blocks of stone, once again, with almost perfect core drill holes in the middle. I think in this case, the holes were meant to hold these large stones together. We saw about 8. Now we're going to get back to that green stone in a moment. But again, a very large megalithic block with almost perfectly circular drill holes. The angle of the camera was bad in that instance, but here you can see the core drill hole, and you can even see where the drill mark is. Now, as we walk towards a relatively crude wall, we're going to focus on the stone there in the center. Here you can see 4. There are 3 at the moment, but we're going to see 4 more core drill holes. And here is the large nephrite jade block that some believe was brought from Egypt, though we weren't able to positively identify Egypt as the source. Quite well polished. There are two of them located at Hattusha. And here, this is what we believe is the epicenter area of Hattusha. We see, again, megalithic blocks. Almost all of the stone you've seen so far is limestone, but the inner core part is actually granite. And the granite supposedly is from at least 150 kilometers away. This is still the limestone. You can see how eroded the surfaces are. These ones used to fit together quite tightly, and lots more of the ancient core drill holes with a lot of erosion even in the inside. So this gives us indication A, of lost ancient high technology, and B, extreme weathering over the course of a very extensive period of time. Here's a wall of ancient tight-fitting blocks, at least they once were. And now we're entering, as we see more of the core drill holes. As I said, we saw between 50 and 100 of them, and we didn't actually cover the entire site. It's quite massive, but now we're going to start moving into the granite area. More core drills. You can see that these stones at one time likely fit together without any mortar or cement or filler of any kind. And now we are approaching the granite area. Once again, in the limestone, more of the core drill holes. This technology was not developed, as far as we know, until about 1860 AD. So obviously we have evidence here of lost ancient high technology at Hattusha. And now saw marks. Circular saw mark there, and there. That is the granite, the dark colored stone. It looks very similar to the limestone, but it is in fact granite brought from Ephesus, which, as I said, is a very long distance away, still in the country of Turkey, and a straight saw mark, as you can see here. So there's more to the history of Turkey than most people realize. Clear evidence of lost ancient high technology. There again is the straight or a straight saw mark.